Here are how some of the top players are doing in this first round. Jack Nicklaus, Hal Sutton, Hale Irwin, Johnny Miller, and Nick Faldo, all at 1 over and very much in contention. Raymond Floyd, Larry Nelson, and Lanny Watkins at 2 over, also in contention. Peter Jacobson, John Mahaffey, Fuzzy Zeller, Gary Koch, Tom Kite. As we go to the 12th tee, here is the current leader, James Thorpe, par 3, 212 yards.
I believe that's a par 5, Jack. There, he's playing on number 12.
Well, 13 is not 12, is it?
That's right. Sometimes I wish it was.
Hard to say whether he can get home from there or not. This wind has really quickened and freshened. There's a look at the hole. They drive out of a chute in the big giant tees here on the 12th at Wingfoot. And it doglegs a little bit around. Plenty of trees. And Curtis Strange here going for birdie. At the par 3, 10th hole. Going by where Mark McCumber had his hole-in-one earlier.
Seems to me someone else had a hole-in-one this week, Jack.
Well, there have been a few around, I guess, haven't there?
I think it was you.
Yeah, but poor Mark went double bogey after his. It didn't matter with me. That made my day. The 10th hole here would have to be one of the toughest places to get an ace that I know of.
It's always picked as one of the All-American holes. It's beautiful. It's 190, long iron in there, undulating green. Great hole as you look at the leaders.
Trevino 2 under through 7. Nobody has really gone out, and I don't think, do you, Dave? We mentioned it earlier, this course is going to get any easier.
As you pointed out, the wind has picked up. It's not going to get any easier. This is a great golf course. I don't care if the greens are slower than they generally are or hold better or whatever. It's a great golf course, so they wouldn't have the Open here.
Well, I know that Raymond Floyd said he played like Jesse James, and Jack said, what did I play like? He said, you played like Frank. And he said, Greg Norman, who finished level, was the biggest thief of all. They're all very happy to get through playing the way they did. Here's Andy Bean at the 10th, this marvelous par 3. 190 yards. And he'll have to read the wind, which should be a bit in his face. Those yawning traps. To the right and in front, and to the left, traps and trees. Wind gusting now. It's kind of to the front. I'm hit between the gusts.
When it does like this, Jack, you're always guessing. You know about what it is, but you don't know whether it's going to be blowing or not. As you said, you got to try to hit between the gusts.
Oh, lovely shot. But he's above the hole, but it's a little nerve-wracking, but the distance is quite nice. This is the 9th tee, Hal Sutton.
You can hear him here say, grab it,
Rapid
wind.
wind, because he's going, looks like he's out into the right, in the trees. Bob Rosberg, are you down there?
Yes, he's deep in the right rough, Jack. He's really didn't hit a very good drive. Trevino drove it right down the middle of the fairway just perfectly.
Well, he's played in wind before, hasn't he?
Sure has, and he evidently birdied number 8. At least the big scoreboard up here, which is not our scoreboard, shows that he must have birdied the 8th hole to pull into a tie with Jim Thorpe.
Seve Ballesteros.
Just in the left-hand rough, just in the collar. Not very long for Seve. Andy Bean just came by here, drove it 320 yards right down the middle of the fairway, played a little 9-iron to this hole.
A 9-iron?
Just a little one.
Who did, Ross?
Andy Bean.
David, let's take a look at Seve's swing here.
And this is really one of the good swings, and of course one of the most powerful swings ever in golf. You see Seve take the club away, moving shoulders, arms, club head together. Look at that left knee point behind the ball. Now, right as he starts down here, his left heel goes down. Watch his knees move through there with good leg drive, good position there. I don't know why it went so short. He looks like he's about to kill it from there into a good high finish. Now, you need a young body to do that, Jack.
You certainly
That is
do.
perfect.
Supple, flexible. A 9-iron to this green. This is a par 5 for we poor members here. And they're playing it as a par 4 and a drive and a 9-iron.
Maybe that's why they made it a par 4.
Seem to know something, don't they? Trevino and Thorpe now, co-leaders at the moment. And here is Jim Thorpe at that par 5 12th. He was laying up, apparently. Ed Sneed, are you out there?
Yes, I am, Jack. He did lay up, but he hit a long layup shot. He carried the fairway bunkers that are on the right, and he's hitting it up into an area that not many players are doing. He's only about 60 yards from the front of the green.
All right.
He's in the left rough, just in the light rough. He shouldn't have too much problem with the pin being on the back of the green, however.
Reason for that, Jack, is that that's very narrow, as you well know, up by the green. And if you can't reach it, I don't believe that you ought to take the chance with a wood. Because if you hit an iron, you're going to pitch on with a wedge, the same as you would do with a wood. You can't reach it with either one. You get a bigger target area is what I'm saying.
We are back at the 9th fairway, as you looked it up in the middle of your picture there. That's the first hole on the right, and the 11th hole on the east course on the left. We're at the 9th hole. Also displaying some of Wingfoot's traps. Trevino, Thorpe, and being chased by quite a few people.
And a number of good ones there, Jack.
The aristocrats, yes. Couples Bean, Graham, Ballesteros, David Knipe, the leader, the first one in, that's 69. Now, Hal Sutton here at the 9th. Rossi's, he...
In case Rossi can't talk, it's just a chip out there,
yeah,
Jack.
So
you know,
he was in deep trouble there. Bob Rosberg, you're out there walking with him. What's it like today? Comfortable, uncomfortable?
Jack, actually the heat is not too bad. There's enough of a breeze that the players I don't think are suffering too badly. But the fairways have really dried out. I can't believe how good they are. They're just absolutely perfect. Show no signs of the big storm last night at all. But I think the rough is a little tougher today than it has been during the practice rounds.
Because of the rain?
Because of the rain, it makes it a little more twisted, I think, and the ball sits down in it. I've watched 2 balls here. D.A. Weibring put it in the light rough over here to the right of 9 and had to just play out about 80 yards down the fairway.
This is Andy Bean now at the 10th hole, just above it for a birdie. No. Does have a little break, doesn't it, David?
yes, and downhill,
Well,
as you
yeah,
pointed out, you're not going to take a real strong, firm run at it, no matter whether they're not as fast as open greens generally are. 3 is, you make 4 threes at 10 during the tournament, you've done your day's work.
Week's work. Still 2 shots behind Trevino and Jim Thorpe as we look at Ballesteros now at the 9th. See the ball. Now we move over to Lee Trevino, who's tied with Jim Thorpe at 3 under. Jim Thorpe at the 12th hole. Getting ready to hit his 3rd shot at this par 5. Now Ballesteros ready for his 2nd shot at 9.
That's an 8-iron flying out of the rough and going well left, but it will catch the green, I believe.
Yes, it does. Albeit a far bit from the hole.
About how far did he hit that 8-iron, Rossi?
That shot went about 170 yards, Dave.
Here he comes.
Now, this is a 5-iron. As you can see the difference in the way a man plays. Lee cut it back up into the wind. A beautiful looking shot.
There it is. So Lee Trevino co-leading this tournament on the first day with Jim Thorpe at 3 under par is safely home at the 9th hole. Thorpe ahead of him at the 12th, and will return to Winged Foot in just a moment.